He hates his real name, and this is something that came about a few years ago. And when it first happened, I got kind of nervous. So I did what you do in those situations. I asked other parents, and they were like, oh, it's just a phase. I go, what? No, he's a little phase. He's going through a phase. A lot of kids don't like their names, but it'll end in just a little bit. And I was like, oh, okay, it's a phase. Do you know how long it's been? About 3 years. That isn't so much a phase, in my opinion, as a new path. That's where I think we are. His birth name is Julian. That's what we've always called him, and that's what he used to respond to because it's his fucking name, right? He would also respond to variations of it. Julian, Juju, Jujito, Julian. And he'd be like, mm-hmm. And then one day, about 3 years ago, I was like, hey, Julian. He was like, don't ever call me that. I hate that name. When you say that name, I want to die. And I'm like, oh my God, okay. So now this kid will only talk to us if we call him by his self-imposed name, which, buckle up, is teacher. Is there a creepier name to use when addressing a small child? Like, hello, my teacher. Is this The Shining? Because it feels like it. It feels like Jordan Peele's next movie, like a fucking kid from the woods that walks into town to follow teacher and live long. And you're like, okay. You get it, right? I walk into my own house and I go, is teacher here? And he goes, yes. And I go, hello, sir. And people have the balls to ask me, they're like, are you worried? Of course I'm fucking worried. The only other person I know that went by teacher is Charles Manson. So yeah, I'm worried.
All right. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but comedians' lives are lonely. It's a lonely existence. I mean, you're in airports and hotels and cities with strangers every week. It gets lonely. Like, it really does. Like, you can only masturbate like so many times before you're like, I gotta get something to eat, you know? Like, it's one of those things. You gotta find something to boost you up. You know what's the biggest boost, the biggest spark when you're on the road is actually running into another comedian. It's the best. I can't even describe it to you. It's the one thing that you're like, yes. If it's a comedian you already know, it's like a reunion. If it's a comedian you've never met, there's so much excitement at the potential. You're like, oh, is he gonna be weird? Is he gonna be hilarious? Is it gonna be hilarious how weird he is? Like, there's so much there. You know, it's how I imagine serial killers feel when they meet each other the first time. They're like, you know, you do it differently than on the way I do it, but I totally respect your commitment to the craft. Like, you keep their toes in jars. That's nuts. That's awesome. So I'm at the airport, and I'm waiting to board a flight. And who do I see at the gate boarding the same flight? The comedian Bruce Bruce. Now, if you don't know who Bruce Bruce is, super successful comic. He's had TV shows. He sells out clubs and theaters everywhere. He's awesome. I've never met him. I see him at the gate. I'm like, I'm going to go talk to Bruce Bruce. And then I go, no, you're not. Bruce Bruce doesn't want to talk to you. So I don't say anything. Then we board the flight, and I get upgraded. Woo, woo! Upgraded. And now, who is sitting directly across the aisle from me? Bruce Bruce. Now I can't help myself. Now I have to say something. So I introduce myself to Bruce Bruce. Now, for this to really make sense to you, if you don't know who he is, I have to paint a picture, okay? Bruce Bruce is black, he has dreads, and he's a big boy, all right? Like, when you say your name twice, there's a lot of you. Bruce Bruce is like 4 bills, okay? So, I might name myself Tom Tom if I gain another 100 pounds. So, I'm sitting across the aisle from Bruce Bruce, and I introduce myself, and he could not be nicer. Just to give you an idea of his status, we're at the gate on this plane, and the flight attendant announces that we're stuck at the gate. And she says, you can get off if you want to. Just take your boarding pass with you, and then you can get back on. So as I'm talking to him and they say that, I go, I'm not getting off. And he goes, I'm not getting off. And then a woman, a passenger from the back of the plane, walks up and she leans down to him and she goes, I'm getting off. Is there anything you want or need? And he goes, I would love some candy. And she goes, candy? And he goes, Twix, Skittles, shit like that. And then she gets off the plane and I go, who is that? And he goes, I don't know. And I'm like, are strangers just buying you candy? And he goes, yeah. Like, that's Bruce status, okay? So we keep talking. We start talking about gigs that we've done, and we start talking about comedians and who's funny, who are the funniest comics ever. And we start literally listing comedians through time. Like, we start with, like, Lenny Bruce and Dick Gregory, and we talk about George Carlin and Richard Pryor, all the way through Eddie Murphy, and then to today, you know, Kevin Hart and Dave Attell. And then Bruce says, that's all good, but do you know who the funniest cat of all time is? Now, I think it's a setup. I think he's gonna be like, it's me, bitch. I'm the funny, like, it's like that, right? That's what I think it's gonna be. And I'm gonna let him have it. So I go, nah, like, who's the funniest cat of all time? And he goes, Andy Griffith. And I go, what? And he goes, Andy Griffith. And I go, are you talking about, like, that dude? And he goes, yeah, you ever been to the Andy Griffith Museum before? And I go, what kind of question is that? No, of course not, man. Like, is that real? And he goes, real? They have the car that he used to sit in, and you can sit in it too. And you can touch shit that he used to touch. And he goes, did you ever see episode 215 of the Andy Griffith Show? And I go, no, ass burgers. I didn't see episode 215. And he goes, that's my favorite episode. It originally aired March 13th, 1967. And I go, are you fucking with me right now? And he goes, nah, it was March 13th, 1967. And then he ate Twix and he didn't talk to me for the rest of the flight. But I am begging you, if you ever see Bruce anywhere, walking around, sitting down, at a show, anywhere, just go, hey man, Andy Griffith is the shit. And he'll be like, oh no, I've been saying that shit. And he'll lose his mind. That's it for me. You guys are the best. Let's go back to 1997. Holy shit. And fuck, that time flies. And I'm a freshman in college. And Thanksgiving, remember Thanksgiving, everybody? That's the first time that you go, usually back home. That's your first break in your freshman year. And it's a big deal because it's also like a mini class reunion, right? It's the first time you see everybody you used to go to school with every day. You're back your first few months and everybody's recapping. And the big thing is the next day, the day after Thanksgiving, everybody gets together and parties their fucking balls off while acting like they're a new person, right? So I start off, I find one of the guys that didn't go to school, and he's like, I'm the new drug supplier. And I'm like, I remember you from math. And he asked me what I want, and I'm like, what do you got? And he goes, I have ecstasy. And I go, yeah. Everyone says, that's fun. Let's try it. And I start taking it. And, I forgot to mention, before I went to college, senior year, I got really into a drug that was making its way, especially through the South, through Florida, called GHB. And I'm sure, I don't know if you know what it is. It's a gamma hydroxybutyric acid. Your body naturally produces it. Sometimes there's some places where they regulate it as an anesthetic, but basically when you get it, somebody made it in a bathtub, and that's the good stuff, all right? And they sell it to you, and they get it in a water bottle. They also call it the date rape drug. I didn't do that. I gave it to myself all the time. And it does have an amazing effect on sex. On masturbating, let's be honest. On masturbating. I really had some crazy masturbation seminars as a senior, and then I passed out, and I'm like, who jerked me off? Oh yeah, it was me. Okay. So, anyways, okay, so I get the ecstasy into my system, and then I take it. I'd never taken it, so as soon as I take it, I go like, hey man, fucking, I don't feel anything. He's like, you just took it, man. Like, give it a minute, all right? All right. So I'm hanging out at this party. We're at a party, everyone's together, and then we're gonna go to a bar. And at the end of the house party, on the way to the bar, I go, hey man, I don't feel anything. So he goes, all right, when we get to the bar, come find me, and I have GHB. So I'm like, okay. So I find him, and he's like, all right, let's go to the car. And that's always the big move when you go to the car, right? You're like, this is where dreams come true in the car. A drug dealer's car is where it all lives. So I'm expecting what I know, which is a water bottle, and then a dose is the cap. So all you do is you pour the water into the cap and you drink it like that. It tastes like ocean water, like seawater, right? Salt water. And then it's immediate. GHB, if it's good stuff, it's like, we used to call it permagrin, because you just be like, and if someone's like, fuck you, you're like, So I'm like, all right, where is it? And he goes, it's right there. And he has a gallon jug, right? And I'm like, wow, that's not a water bottle? He's like, yeah, I haven't even put it into the water bottles yet. That's the full thing. And it's a full gallon. Now, if you think about a full gallon, you know that A, the cap is much different. It's flatter. You're not going to sample. And it's also heavier. So I don't know how to pour it. So he's like, just take a shot. And I'm like, all right. So I put it up. And then I go, in my mind, oh shit. I have like 9 shots in my mouth right now. So the options are, do I spit it back into the main jug, which I feel like he's gonna be like, not cool with that, you know, being that he's a drug dealer and all. The other thing would be spit it out on the ground, and I don't wanna be rude, right? So I just go like, and I'm like, holy fucking shit. I have taken way too much GHB. Now, I'm leaving out the point that you're not supposed to mix GHB and alcohol. It is potentially fatal. You may have known this if you didn't. It can be. At this point, I am on 13 or 14 drinks, right? Like, and it's liquor, like, you know, vodka drinks, and I'm just pounding them. I get the 9 shots into me, and then I walk back into the bar, and I'm like, what's up, everybody? Like, I'm fucking... They're like, where does all this personality come from? This is natural, man. So, and then I sat down. I remember sitting down, and the girlfriend came, and she sat on my lap, and then lights out. Like, I just don't remember anything. Like, I went to sleep. All I remember is that I wake up, and I'm looking at lights on a ceiling, right? I'm just like, oh, shit. Is this heaven? And then I see a woman come into frame, right? Because I'm laying on my back. I can't talk. I can't move my arms. And this woman goes, hey, Tom, you are in the emergency room, and you overdosed on drugs, and now you're coming out of a coma. And I'm just like, like processing it. But the process literally was just eyes closed, like, oh, shit. And my only thought was like, I hope nobody knows. That's the only thing I'm thinking. I hope nobody knows. And then I open my eyes again, and my parents come into frame. And then I'm like, everybody knows. And they look so just like, we thought you were a good kid. What the fuck? So I'd never been in trouble. They won't let your arm out because I pull out the tubes. I have a tube for breathing. I have another tube that's pumping liquid charcoal into my stomach because that makes the chemicals and the drugs like come together, and then you also can't digest it, so you vomit, which is what they want you to do. So as I'm like, I'm also like, I'm throwing up, right? So they give me a piece of paper and a pen that I can't really write normally because I'm strapped down, but I can kind of chicken scratch. And they're like, what did you take? Because they're trying to figure, they don't even know what I took. So I write, heroin. And they go, are you serious? And I write, JK. Right? They're not like, good one. They're like, what the fuck, are you joking? So, then the kid in me, I'm looking at my parents and I'm like so worried about them. I write on the paper, I go, are you mad at me? And my parents, at that moment, my dad reads it and he goes, no, buddy, just disappointed. And I'm like, can you save that for when I'm breathing on my own? Like, so I'm in that emergency, I get moved to critical, then ICU. In the ICU, a doctor comes in who I hadn't seen yet. And I'm later told, this is a doctor. They tell me this is a doctor that saved your life. So I'm sitting there in the bed, and he comes in and he goes, are you in a band? And I was like, what, man? What? And he goes, are you in a band? And I was like, no, I'm not in a fucking band. And he goes, well, you had enough in you to take down 2 drum players and a bass player, man. And I'm like, you now with the fucking jokes, really? And I go, well, he goes, what did you take? And I go, I had, I don't know, I took a couple pills. I told him honestly, I had some drinks. And I took, you know, some GHB, probably enough for like a lot of people. And he goes, what about the heroin? And I go, no, I was just joking. And he goes, no, you have heroin in your system. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah, you have heroin, you have cocaine, you have PCP. He's like, you also have the same chemicals that are in like cleaners, like some of the super duty cleaners. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? And he goes, where'd you get your GHB from? And I go, one of my buddies from high school. He's like, oh, he's a good friend. He gave you some fucking WD-40 to put in your system. So I you know, eventually get to breathe on my own and all this shit. And then he comes back and they're like, you know, the nurse tells me the doctor that saved you wants to talk to you. And I'm like, all right. And I asked him, like, how did I survive? And he was like, honestly, because you're fat. Like, you're pretty fat. And I was like, what, man? And he goes, I mean, a smaller person would definitely, like a 120-pound person would die halfway through this. This is just one of the only times where it's good to be fat, right now. And that's, yeah, that's why I still haven't lost the weight, you guys. God, it's so weird. People ask me, like, I get asked fucking travel advice from strangers. Can we just break down how crazy that is? Like, people come up to me and they're like, hey, you travel a lot, right? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, where should I go? I don't fucking know you, man. You ask travel advice to people who know you intimately. They know you well. They can guide you based on what they know about you. I mean, you don't ask strangers dining advice, right? Because you're like, hey, well, where should I eat tonight? I know I've never met you before in my life, but do you think you could give me a recommendation? Yeah, you should try this dim sum place. But then that person might go, oh, I hate the Asian world. And you're like, oh shit, I didn't know that about you. Like, yeah, I killed like 4 of them. Like, what are you, like a serial killer or something? Yeah. Now you're in an awkward conversation with a serial killer. Here's all I'm saying. I can't tell you where to go. I can tell you where not to go. Wherever they film the first 48 on A&E. Oh, if you're not familiar with the show, here's what it is. Camera crews follow real homicide detectives for the first 48 hours after a murder. And the reason that that time distinction is so important is that after 48 hours, they give up on that murder. They're like, that's some old shit. What do you want to do today? You're like, how about you keep trying to solve that murder, man? That shit happened on Monday. It's Wednesday. We're not going to solve that shit. Really. There are so many amazing moments on that show. So many. A lot of the episodes take a similar path. I'm blown away, first of all, at how many times there's a witness to a murder. It's crazy. I always thought murders happen in dark alleys. Nobody saw shit. No. Every other episode, they're like, you see that shit? And the guy's like, I saw that shit, yeah. Where? Right fucking here. Really, I was standing here, and then he killed that dude there.
You ever forget you have kids? Like you're having a great day. And then you're like, oh, fuck. I did do that. I was home for the first day of school this year. I took our youngest. He's in PK, pre-kindergarten. Cute little shit. I did drop-off. I don't mind doing drop-off. I don't like that he doesn't know when to start a story. He always waits till we pull up to school. I pull up to school. He goes, do you know what happened yesterday? And I'm like, why would you wait the whole drive? Oh, it's too. I don't want to hear it now. I fucking kicked him out of the car. I go to pull out, and the teacher comes up to me. She goes, can you come in? And I go, no. I graduated a long time ago. I don't have to do anything. She goes, all the parents are in there. I go, even more reason why I don't want to come in. She goes, we're talking to the kids about COVID. I go, trifecta. I'm not coming in. She goes, we have a bunch of snacks. And I was like, all right, I'll see what you got. I go in there. She lied. Well, it's not parents, it's dads. They lured us with food. It's a bunch of fat dads shoveling food in their faces. We're going to talk to pre-kindergartners, let me remind you, about COVID. These are 3- and 4-year-olds who say shit like, I like yellow. And we're going to be like, there's a virus that has ruined the economy. All right, get out of here. So she's like, who wants to go first? And I was like, hell no. I stood back, and this fucking dildo in boat shoes, he's like, I'll go. He goes, I learned that every day matters. I was like, all right. Good one, dork. And then the next dad, he goes, I learned that you never know what tomorrow might bring. I looked for his kid. I was like, is that your dad? And then I found my kid. I was like, don't play with that kid. You know? She goes, Mr. Segura, do you want to go next? I go, do you want me to go next? Okay, I'll go. Hey, kids. I learned, if you really want to know the truth, I'll tell you the truth. Honestly, I learned that I didn't really wash my hands before. Because I didn't. That's what I've taken from these last few years. Remember, because when it first broke, when they were like, this is AIDS in the air, and you're like, wait, what? What did you say? How do you get it? And they're like, do you ever touch stuff? And you're like, all the time, yeah. Wash your hands. Okay. Do you ever open doors? The CDC asked, do you ever open doors? So many, yes. Wash your hands. You got it. Now I do, I really do. But if I'm being completely honest, back then, I feel like I really only washed my hands when I had literal shit on them. You know, like, you know those wipes where your hand comes up and it's right here on your thumb and you're like, God damn it. I'm gonna wash my hands. I'm not a fucking lunatic. I'm not gonna see that I'm busy. I'm gonna, you know, I'll give it a real scrub. But even then, I'll check my work after. I'll check to see if I did it. Some of you are lying.
Oh, I hate when people, oh, that's never happened to me. Really? You've never had a sloppy Joe just fall out of you before? Or a cherry bomb, you know, those, and you're like, it's on both cheeks? How's it on both cheeks? Too many Brussels sprouts. That's how. Now, those will get you.
Yeah. I'm very philosophical, you guys. I feel like life is about timing, you know? Timing. When to pull out. When to stop wiping. When do you ask a professional athlete for his autograph after a home playoff loss? And I think the answer is never. Thankfully, one of my friends doesn't think this way. It is my favorite thing that's happened in my adult life, okay? One of my buddies, he lives in Cincinnati. He is a big Cincinnati Bengals fan, okay? Now, yeah, I know, they're tough. So, he goes to their game, they lose, which isn't weird, and then he decides he's gonna wait in the tunnel and ask players for autographs. Now, if you're like me, you might be wondering, wait, are you friends with like an 8-year-old boy or something? No, it's a grown man. So picture me in the tunnel of the stadium like, hi guys, keep your head up. Can I have an autograph? And he said they were all like, no. And some of them were like, fuck you. Imagine your heroes being like, fuck you. Oh my God. And then Adam Pac-Man Jones walked out of the locker room. Now, if you don't follow football and you're like, I don't know who that is, well, how can I best describe him? One time he went to a strip club and a bunch of people got shot. And then that happened 2 more times. What's up? I'll give you a sense of his vibe as bang, bang, ba-bang, bang, bang, ba-bang, bang, 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 bang. He is not approachable. So, my honky-ass friend the biggest honky in America goes, Pac-Man! Will you sign this football? And he said, Pac-Man went, what? Which to me would have been like, oh, so you don't? All right, cool. My friend just decides to make it more clear. He's like, it's a football, and you play it. I just watched you. Will you sign this? And he said, Pat goes, the fuck did you say to me? Which now I'm like, why are you still there? And he's like, I think because I'm actually shitting myself as it happens. But now he knows he's got one shot. Pac walks right up to him like, what'd you say? And my friend, he just goes, look, man, it's a football. It's from my dad, and my dad loves you. And he said, Pac-Man looked at him and he said, tell that motherfucker I appreciate him. That's the end of the story. But don't you love the juxtaposition of angrily being like, you tell that motherfucker, but then don't forget to say thank you. I've been trying to incorporate that expression in my life. I was at an airport bar, and I was getting up, and they called my flight, and the bartender goes, somebody recognized you. They said to send you a drink. I go, tell that motherfucker I appreciate it. He goes, what the hell did you just say to me right now? And I said, fuck his mother, I appreciate her. Tell him that. Asshole. So I still haven't found a place for it, but I'm working on it. So
I took a crazy shit earlier today. Is pooping universal? Is that a thing? Here's something I just found out. I just found out that not everybody has diarrhea every day. I didn't know that. Seriously, here's how I found out. we moved. My wife and I moved to a new place. In the new place, the living room couch is closer to the bathroom than it was in the old place. So the second day we're there, I go in there, I do my thing. When I walk out, my wife is no longer sitting on the couch. She's now standing, holding car keys, and she goes, "Do you need to go to the hospital?" And I go, "For what?" And she goes, "For what just happened in there." And I go, "What just happened in there?" And she goes, "Is that normal for you?" And I was like, "I don't remember what happened, so I guess so." And she goes, "Jesus, how often do you shit like that?" And I was like, "Every day." And she goes, "Oh my God, is there blood in there?" And I was like, "There could be. I don't know." Like, I just go, bop, and then I hit flush, you know? And she goes, "You don't look at it?" And I'm like, "Where am I supposed to look? It's everywhere. You want me to look at each individual piece? No, I fucking paint the bowl and then I wash it away." That's how I found out that not everybody has diarrhea every day.
Working our way through all those muck-luck countries and listening to their jibber-jabber, I was like, why don't you speak the fucking world's language, asshole? So, good to be here. We were in London yesterday. A couple days ago, we were with the Frogs in Paris. Beautiful city, you know, I hadn't been in years. It's beautiful. It is. It's a gorgeous city. And then they're like, "Do you want to know when this was built?" And I'm like, "No." You know? Just see it. I don't need the whole story. Isn't that annoying at some point when they're like, "Do you want to know how long it took me to make this painting?" No. Let me look at it and then get out of here. I don't care. Before that was Amsterdam, which is like a utopia. I mean, unbelievable, right? I mean, you take it for granted because it's so close. You walk, it looked like a movie set, and then you're like, "There's not even homeless people here? Like, what do you do with them?" And they're like, "We push them into the canal as they sleep. They never feel a thing." You know? Brilliant, I'm taking that idea home. Before then was Berlin. Oh, that. Learn not to ask so many history questions there. They don't even tell you the good stuff. You're like, "Where'd he shit? What happened?" I just asked the wrong person the wrong thing. I was kind of into the history for a second. I was like, I had a driver, you know, and I go, "Oh, were you here when the wall collapsed? Like when the wall came down?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I go, "What was that like?" And she was like, "It was a fun time." I go, "Do you want to be more specific?" And she goes, "We ate bananas." I was like, "I'm sorry." And she goes, "Yellow bananas?" And I go, "Yeah, they're always yellow." "That's what you did?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I go, "To celebrate the fucking end of communism?" And she was like, "This is what we do in my house." And I was like, no more questions. So, and before that, we were in Budapest, where they are not fucking around. They were like, "Do you want to throw a rock at a gay right now?" I don't think I got enough money to do that. And they were like, "No, for fun." I was like, "All right." Yeah, you can hide a few bodies in that place. But as a concept, it is reasonable to assume if you've been with somebody 3 years, you have a healthy thing going on, you may have slept together a few hundred times, right? Right. Now, I want you to think about how many times your dad has finished inside of your mom. So many times. Tom, why would you say that? Well, basically, I think all of our moms are a bunch of cum dumpsters, you know, but your mom more than my mom. Now, I know, it's a tough image to get out of your head once I've planted it, right? You're like, "God damn it, my mom's dripping?" Probably, yeah. Soaking wet. Look, your mom has done some nasty shit. Let's talk about it. She really has. And
Look, I'm here to defend her, all right? It is not her fault. It's your dad's fault, for sure. Your dad, with all due respect, is kind of a piece of shit. A little bit. And if you're like, not my dad, he's good. Yeah, to you. He's not always like that to your mom. If they've been together 3 decades, you don't think he says some off-colored shit every now and then? Of course he does. They're laying in bed, your dad's tossing and turning, he can't sleep. And your poor mother, is everything all right, dear? It's fine. Was supper good? Yeah, shut up, I'm trying to sleep. Can I do anything to help? Yeah, you can lick my balls, all right? And you want to know something? Your poor mother, she does it, all right? Because she's a ball hog, so your mom gets down there. And she goes, I like my life. She does it. Oh, your mom. Now, your grandma, think about some of the things that she's done. On the railroad tracks or wherever she used to fuck around. El Paso, I don't know.
Probably checked into 400 hotels this year. And when I tell you that this has happened to me more than half a dozen times, I am not exaggerating. Every hotel check-in begins usually the same. It's standard. Hotels, the people at the desk, they go, last name? And this just happened to me. Last name? And I go, Segura. And the guy goes, whoa, are you Japanese? And I go, 100%, yeah. And he just goes, oh, we don't get a lot of Japanese people here. That's pretty cool. So I have to stop him and go, hey man, I'm not Japanese. And he goes, Segura. Segura! Sounds Japanese. I go, that's because you're saying it Japanese. I could be Smith, and if you want to go Smith, it's Japanese. He goes, well, what are you? Which is fucking rude. Can I just say it's never important to ask that question? What are you? It's never important to ask that. It's sometimes important, but not a lot. When is it important? Sushi chef, accountant, 100-meter dash. Outside of that, sometimes it matters. So I tell him, I go, Segura is Spanish. And he goes, that's weird. You look white. I go, I am white. And he goes, but you're Spanish? And I go, correct. He goes, do you speak Spanish? I said, yes. He goes, so you're Mexican? And I go, no. And he goes, I don't know what's going on. I said, what's going on is you failed fucking social studies. And you're not too good at geography either. And then I see his head drop, like he feels bad. I'm like, look, man, you understand there's white people in Mexico. You know that part. And he goes, no, I don't. I said, there's white people there, there's black people there, there's even Asian people there. And if you really want to shit your pants, those Asian people, they speak Spanish too. You don't expect it, but they're like, dim sum, muy rico, si lo quiero probar, si no lo quiero probar, concha tu madre, nadie te quiere, anda la mierda. They are Asian, and they speak Spanish. I get in the car, he goes, is the temperature all right, sir? I go, it's fine. He goes, would you like a bottle of water, sir? And I go, you don't have to call me sir. You can just call me Tom. And at that moment, all of his professionalism went out the window. The very next thing he said was, you smoke weed? And I was like, I mean, yeah, sometimes. And he goes, do you want to smoke some now? And I was like, I mean, yeah. But I don't think my driver should be offering me, you know? He doesn't miss a beat. He opens the console, he takes out a joint, he lights it, he passes it back. I hit it out of respect, right, because he's old. And then I give it back to him, and the next thing he says is, yeah, I can't drive unless I'm fucked up.
I'm like, do you hear what you just said? And he goes, yeah, I'm ripped right now. And I'm like, well, hands on 10 and 2, motherfucker. Like, keep it together. I goes, is that all you do? Smoke weed? I can handle a guy that smokes weed. He goes, well, I love it all. I'm like, what's all? That's a broad statement. He goes, I love coke, I love heroin, but there's nothing like smoking rocks. You know what I'm saying? I was like, no, I don't know what you're saying. Mind you, this is while he's driving, so it's actually like, I love smoking rocks, man. You know, I'm like, dude, turn around. So I go, can I ask you something? He goes, yeah, what's up? I go, what's it like to smoke rocks? I've never done that before. And he goes, ooh. I was like, is that the whole sentence? Is that it? He goes, that shit is the best. And what I like to do personally is I like to sit in my apartment and fire them up. And then I look out the peephole and I watch people walk around. And I just freak the fuck out about what's gonna happen next. And then he gave me a head nod like, doesn't that sound awesome? I was like, dude, that sounds terrible. That's called a panic attack, and that's a horrible sales pitch for crack. Now I'm definitely not gonna try it. We pull up to the airport, and I goes, none of my business, but I think you're too old to be messing with all these drugs. And he goes, I don't do it anymore, Tom. Yeah, it was sir at the top of the ride. Now it's Tom, you piece of shit. I don't do it anymore. I did it when I was younger. And I go, all right. And he goes, I mean, I still do it every once in a while. But you know what they say. If you do something every once in a while, it's not that bad for you. And I was like, dude, I think they mean that about like pizza and chocolate. Nobody ever means that for crack, just so you know.
I moved recently. Because of you nice folks, I could buy a nice house, and I'm very thankful for that. And yeah, thank you. I bought a house in a neighborhood, though, that I think is too nice, you know? Like, it kind of reminds me of a store. You ever walk into a store and, like, right away you're like, I should leave, like, when you get there? I feel like whenever they offer you something to drink in a store, that's a sign, you know? Some stores you walk into and they're like, would you like still or sparkling water? And you're like, I left something in the car. I'll be right back. Well, I mean, all my neighbors, they're like investment bankers and partners in legal firms, and then I'm there. Like, do you eat ass, or what do you do, man, you know? And they're like, thanks for buying a house. It's great to have you. Here's what's wild. A current or former United States Senator, I shall not say whom, lives in my neighborhood. Everybody talks about him. I know which house is his. I'd never met him. Now I'm home from tour, and I decide to start my day with a morning walk, a casual walk. You know, I have some coffee. Let's get the day started. I go for a walk. I walk past his house. He comes outside. I don't say anything, right? But he yells out. He goes, hey, are you the comedian? And I go, yeah. He goes, where do you think the term motherfucker comes from? Hello, it's nice to meet you. I go, I don't know. He goes, you think it's from people doing that? I'm like, fucking their moms? And he goes, yeah. I go, I don't know. He goes, how many people do you think do that? I go, more than you want it to be. And he's like, meow. Then, and I'm not making this up, I could not make this up, he says to me, how about daughter fuckers? I go, first of all, that's not an expression that anybody uses. Right? No one's like, check out this crazy daughter fucker over here. I go, if you have kinks, we can talk about them, but not like this. I don't like this at all. And he goes, meow. And he just turns around and walks into his house. I'm like, what the fuck was that? So I keep walking, just contemplating every mistake I've ever made that led me to that conversation. And now I'm walking home. So I walk past his house again. He comes back outside.
He goes, hey, I didn't want it to end like that. That was weird. It was. He goes, I thought about it, and a motherfucker is not somebody who fucks their own mom. I go, oh, do tell. He goes, a motherfucker is someone who fucks your mom. He goes, that's the most disrespectful thing anyone can do, so if somebody is particularly rude, you call them a motherfucker. And I go, wow. I am so impressed that you put that together so quickly. I can see why you may or may not be Ted Cruz. And then I walked away. Oops. I think that 69ing is overrated and it sucks. Yeah. Yeah, you see that? Some people clap and some people are like, arrest this man. But listen, the story of why is more important. Do you remember when you first heard about it? I do. I was in 3rd grade, and that's too young, all right? One of the older kids told me, and I was like, what? At the same time? I almost had a seizure. I didn't know what he was saying. I didn't even have references so I could pretend like I understood. I was like, that's like eating a cheeseburger covered in ice cream while you're taking a shitter. And he was like, that's exactly what it's like. From that day on, I was hooked. When I tell you I was obsessed, I was obsessed. I'm not saying it for a story. It is all I talked about, thought about, dreamt about, sung about, joked about. 69, 69, 69, 69. Every notebook in school, I was like, 69, 69, 69, 69. Every sports team I was on, I was like, I'm number 69. And they're like, this is 5th grade basketball. Why don't you chill out, buddy? Every birthday, every Christmas, my dad goes, what do you want? I go, I want a 69. He goes, shut up and stop saying that. And I was like, no, defiant, no. 69, 69. It's gonna be the best, be the best, be the best, be the best, be the best. 69. It's gonna be like smoking meth out of God's dick. I wanna do it, I wanna do it, I wanna do it. And I built it up, and I built it up, and I built it up. And when I finally got to do it, I finally got to do it. You know what the first thing I said was? Get off me, all right? My neck hurts. I can't get my nose out of the way. Does it feel good? It feels like I'm working, all right? It'd feel better if you flipped over and polished me off, and then I'll do you. Why's it gotta be at the same time? Are we late for something? Is the youth pastor coming back in a few minutes? Let's take turns like we learned in kindergarten. What type of maniac 69s as an adult? I mean, if you're a guy, I hope you're at least a gentleman about it and you lay on your back and you're not one of these savage fucking pigs who's like, I prefer this angle. And then you can hear the fight to live underneath you. And you're like, yeah, that feels good. I bet it fucking does feel good. As you're throating that poor lady underneath you, I don't think there's a more horrific picture I can paint than that of a woman, a lovely woman. Like, picture your mom laying on her back in anticipation of 69ing from the bottom. And she's like, what the fuck? And she's got that look on her face like, is the search party gonna find me here? And then a man, a disgusting man, like me, is like, well, saddle up, here we go. And there's dingleberries and lint. And here's your mom, and I'm like, bop, bop, bop. And then if I do that, I hear, what's on my forehead? And I'm like, that's my gut. That's daddy's wet trash bag gut.
I still haven't found a place for it, but I'm working on it. So I met, like I said, I'm meeting a lot of people. I met a woman after a show recently. They're allowed at my shows. And see, they're here. And she came up to me and she was like, it's a very specific woman, all right? I do feel like I just did a 0.02 second impression. And everybody's like, I know exactly who you're talking about right now. So, because every city has. You know my favorite part of that woman is if you go, why are you laughing? She'll go, I'm not. Okay. So she comes up to me and she goes, funny show. And I go, thanks. Thanks, motherfucker, I appreciate it. So I go, thank you. And she goes, are you gonna go jerk off all over your hotel room now? And I was like, ugh. I said, I'm probably just gonna pick a spot. You know, I'm not gonna do it. She goes, yeah, I get it. And I was like, God. And she goes, I'm super horny. And I go, okay. She goes, I'm horny the way guys are. And I go, no, you're not. And she goes, yeah. And I said, you're really not. And she goes, yeah, why do you say that? And I said, let me tell you a little story. When I was a freshman in college, I looked like this. I looked 47 years old. It was alarming to other students. They would see me walking through the doors, and they'd be like, are you a fucking administrator here or something? I'd be like, I'm a freshman, I'm 18. And they're like, you're a narc, that's what you are. This is my birth face, man. I'm 41 Jump Street. So, with this face came great responsibility. I bought alcohol for our entire dorm. I don't mean 3 or 4, everybody. It wasn't even a challenge. I looked so old that when I walked into liquor stores, they'd be like, hello, sir, how's the stock market today? Shit like that. I bought booze to everybody. Everybody got booze. I did the same thing with pornography. And let me tell you, before you jump at me like, why would you do that? You just watch it in your dorm room online. Well, the story takes place in 1997. And there was a lot of buffering back then. That is the truth. I don't know if you remember the late 90s or if you were even around, but like porn in the late 90s was like, Who am I kidding? I use my right hand, so. Now, keep in mind, I'm not buying porn for a couple buddies. It is for an entire building of 18-year-old freshman dudes in college. You can't wrap your head around how massive and specific these orders were. I would go door to door, and guys would hand me cash and their wish list. They'd be like, I want black cocks, asses, and feet. Don't fuck it up. I'm like, all right. Do you know what kind of a psychopath I looked like? Walking through a porn store with a grocery list, like... Mom said not to forget. So one day, I am buying outrageous amounts of porn. And the owner of the store comes up to me. He goes, you should go to this other store. And I'm like, that is a weird thing to tell your best customer, man. So I go, why? And he just goes, I just think you'll like it. And so I go, okay. I go. He sends me to, I don't know if you've ever been to a cement block building with no sign or address. The kind of building that's like, I don't know, you fucking guess what's in here. Like that? Well, I walk in and I see a man wearing overalls and no t-shirt, which I think we all know is the international uniform for the last guy you'll ever see. Now, this guy is behind the counter. He looks up and sees me, and the first words out of his mouth are, piss fetish? And I go, what? No. And he goes, oh, I got a full bladder. Don't want to waste it. And I go, what the fuck? I said, is that what you do around here? And he goes, among other things. And I said, well then, show me around. Like, let me see what else you have. I don't want to be closed-minded. So we go through the store. He shows me movies and toys. He goes, we got a booth. You can put in a quarter. And I go, yeah, I got it. He goes, but this here's our VIP. And you'll notice there's a hole in the wall. And if you're standing in there, someone might stick their finger through that hole. And they'll go just like this. And if you want to, you stick your prick in that hole and someone will suck it on the other side. And my dumbass goes, is it a guy or a girl? He goes, you see any other cars in that parking lot, Junior? So then I felt a pool of diarrhea forming inside of me and fear shooting down my spine. As I was certain I was gonna get kidnapped and raped by Mr. Fuck Dynasty, so I said, I'll just take my movies, thanks. So lady, when you say you're horny the way guys are, I ask you, are you willing to go into an unmarked building and wait behind a wall for a stranger to stick his dick through a hole in that wall and then you polish it off for the love of the game? Because that's what savages men are. And she goes, yeah, I'm not that horny. And I go, I know. See, I just feel a responsibility to remind women of what pigs men are. If you're a woman and you're here with a man right now, you should know he is 2 drinks away from walking into that booth. And honestly, I'm no better. If he had answered my question differently, if I'd have been like, hey, is it a guy or a girl? And he went, I don't know. I'd be like, well, I don't fucking know either. So. Wow, she's got a rough chin on her for sure. Hey, where'd you go, man? I don't see anywhere. All right, I lost some of you on that one. That's fine. That's how that goes. So, I know, I see. Some women are like, My man would never do that. Okay, sure.
Yeah, I've been on a tour, which no one really has been on this scale or scope before. It's pretty wild. I've toured all of North America, and then I have, Australia, New Zealand. I have Latin America coming up. Then I do Europe, then I do Asia, and then I pass away at the very end. But, my agent wants a boat, so let's hook him up. The best part of international touring, if you're a performer, is that you get treated so much better than you should ever be treated. I mean, my theory is they can't believe you took the flight. I'm serious. My last tour ended in Australia. I got off the plane, and the promoters meet you there. They're like, you're here? And you're like, yeah, we have a contract. I thought we were doing this, And then they offer you the world. It's wild. Like, they go, we're going to take you to the best restaurant in the country tonight. I go, oh, wow, thank you. And they go, tomorrow, you'll be on the field for a rugby match. I'm like, no shit. And they go, the next day, you're going to meet the prime minister. And you're like, this is for stand-up? Are you sure about this? One of them says to me, would you like a private tour through an animal sanctuary? And I was like, yeah, I would. It was amazing. Then the lady in charge of that place goes, would you like to hold a koala? I go, let me ask you something. Who the fuck says no to that? Of course I want to hold a koala. They're adorable. And I did, and it was. And then she walked me out. And she goes, I hope you have great shows in Australia. I said, thank you very much. She goes, can I ask you a favor? I'm like, yeah, anything. She goes, don't make the same koala jokes everybody makes. And I go, you got it. What the fuck would those be? And she goes, because koalas have chlamydia. And I go, wait, what? She goes, most koalas in the wild have chlamydia. But it's a different strain than what humans have. Okay. She goes, everybody makes the same joke. Don't fuck a koala, because you'll get chlamydia. And it's just not true. Okay. And she goes, will you tell people? I will never let her down. And if you guys leave here with anything tonight, I hope it is this. You can go to Australia, and you can fuck all the koalas that you want to, and you will not get chlamydia. Also, speaking from experience, it is not that fun. They wiggle a lot, they smell weird. I recommend a hand job from a kangaroo. They have these little paws, and they let you come in their pouch, and they bring it home to their families. That's a bloomin' onion, mate, isn't it? Yeah, it is.